Okay, thank you. I know with the mask and this additional plexiglass, it could be difficult to hear each other, so thank you all for that. I did hear from John, he might be running a little bit behind. I understand he was coming from Alabaster tonight. So for tonight's work session, we want to accomplish two things. Basically, we want to go ahead and discuss the committees. I have a list of the existing committees and its membership, but obviously since we have changed out 2 members of the council, we have some positions to fill. So the standing committees are police, economic development, senior activity center, library, parks, water department, finance, fire department, judicial ordinances, public works, and we have 2 liaison positions, which would be the CDA and P&Z. So I wanted to have some brief and open discussion around those various committees. I have the ability to call those committees, but we still wanted to have some conversation around them. Being that said, I would like to keep finance as a chair that I keep, and then I would also like to assume economic development's chair, as that tends to be a council president position. Is there anyone interested in sharing police at this time?
Sure, I'd be interested in police.
All right. Now on police, we have myself and Bobby Joe. Councilman Wilson, would you be interested in staying on that committee?
Well, I have a question about that.
Yes, sir.
Do we have a fire as well?
We do have fire, yes, sir.
Could we put those combined out as far as public safety? Could we do that? Instead of having those different entities?
I would refer that to council, our legal counsel. Can we do those?
It's all public safety.
Okay, fair enough. That being said, I know Councilman Box has expressed his interest in chairing police. I currently chair fire. I'd be willing to let that go. Is there anyone that would be interested? Let's see here on fire. We have myself, Steve, and Terry. So both of those positions are open on fire. On police, we have myself and Bobby Joe. Bobby Joe, would you like to stay on that committee?
We can think about that, but I would like to stay on public works.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So public
Right
safety.
now we have Box.
So right now we have Box, Councilman Box. Cindy, would you be interested in serving? Councilwoman Cuellar, would you be interested in serving on that committee of public safety?
Yes.
And I would like to stay on that as, obviously not as the chair, but I would like to serve as a member. Cool. All right, so we got police, we got fire. As far as economic development, going back to that one. Okay, you are currently serving on that, so we'll put Councilman Wilson on that. Perfect.
Now, are you chairing that, Councilman Spidey?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I'd be interested in serving on that.
Now, John London is on that. I would like to see if he can show up and for this work session and see if he can speak for that. I'm not sure if he's interested in retaining that. All right, Senior Activity Center. That was a committee that Councilman Bearden chaired. Is anyone interested in chairing that?
Yeah, I will serve there.
Okay. And then on Senior Activity Center. Go first, 2 weeks. You want to serve on that one as well? Okay, Bobby Jim, Councilman Wilson. And then John London was also on that, so we can hold for that. Just put a question mark there. Library was chaired by Councilman Bearden along with Bobby Joe and myself. Is anyone interested in chairing that committee? That committee doesn't meet a tremendous amount. The Friends of the Library do a very good job assisting with that. I would be more than happy to put my name on that if there's not interest at this time for that chair specifically. Okay? Would anybody like to serve in a non-chair capacity on the library committee?
If you need me, I will.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Same with me, President Spivey.
Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate that. Councilwoman Cuervo. All right, on Parks, John London is currently chairing that. I know that is something passionate, that he is very passionate about. I would like to put a question mark there. I too have a passion for that. I would like to stay on that. I think you're on that committee currently. Would you like to stay there?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
All right, in regards to water, Councilman London is on that committee currently. I know that's also a committee. Okay.
President Spivey.
Outstanding.
Did you say water?
Yes, sir.
I think all of us serves on the board when it comes to that particular committee. Am I not correct on that one?
Everybody serves on the board, but you can still have a committee to be a subset of the board.
Previously, for that committee, we had Councilman London as the chair, Councilman Bearden, and yourself, Councilman Wilson, on that board.
Yeah. Can we still be a committee on the board since we have to?
I feel that it's important only because the water is such an important asset to the city. I think it serves as a level of checks and balances. Are you willing to take that position? Thank you, sir.
Councilman Spivey, sorry. We can't hear, somebody's not using the microphone.
That's all, please. Can you hear me?
Yeah, oh yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. If we could all make a point to try to lean into our microphones. All right. Now, on finance, like I said, I desire to continue to chair that board. I am looking for 2 other members. As far as finance goes,
Count me
I think
in,
we're
President
all
Spivey.
a part of that as counselors, since we control it as far as the finances are concerned. Is this not another committee that we're all a part of?
I believe in the past, there was a chairman for the board, but the council attended all of the meetings, so everybody would be up to speed on everything. You wouldn't have to go back and repeat it to the other 2 that were not a part of the board.
perfect. Thank you, Mayor. That makes it very easy.
Your service.
Thanks, sir. All right, I appreciate you. And then we've already handled fire by looping fire and police together into a public safety. So we can move on to that. Judicial ordinances would be next. Bobby Joe, you chair that currently. And then as far as, sorry, these aren't necessarily in the same order I had. I apologize for that. Sir, you chaired that. I was with you along with Steve. I would like to stay on that board. So that leaves an empty position for that committee.
I'd be interested in
Okay.
serving on that.
I would as well, but I'll defer to Cindy, whatever your choice is.
Okay. You know what, Councilman Box, I'll go ahead and rescind that. At the end of the day, it still comes to council, and I'm sure I can ask y'all for updates.
Very good.
Fair enough. And then in regards to Public Works consisted of Councilman Wilson as the chair, Councilman Bearden, and Councilman Marino. So that leaves two 2 areas open on Public Works.
Oh, it's now on board.
Outstanding. As chair?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And then, so that leaves 2 positions available for that.
I'll volunteer on that.
Claire?
Put me down.
We
Thank
just
you.
have Council Monday.
Yeah, we're, no, these are not.
Right.
All right. So we're going to consider this a loose draft, essentially. That since we have not had a chance to speak with Councilman London, I think we made a good amount of progress on our committees thus far. There also comes into question the position of CBA liaison. Cindy, I imagine that is something you feel passionate about?
Very much so.
Thank you, ma'am. And then myself, I'm currently serving as the planning and zoning liaison. I would like to keep that as I enjoy those meetings. All I would ask myself and you, Councilman Cuellar, is that we are giving monthly reports on the developments at those meetings.
You can count on it.
Outstanding.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Can we go back to water?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Who do you have down, as far as the committee, outside of the council serving on the board?
Right now, John, Councilman London is chairing that, and I've got yourself on there. But you know what? I appreciate you catching that because I do have a blank on that.
You talking about the water?
Yes.
I had mentioned being interested in serving on that.
I think I failed to write your name there, Cindy. Councilman Cuellar, thank you.
You're welcome.
So as it stands right now with water, we've got Councilman London, Councilwoman Cuellar, and Councilman Wilson on that board. Do we have some feedback on that, or? Okay. All right, perfect. So we'll consider this a loose draft since we have not been able to speak to Councilman London, if that pleases the group. And then we can take a look at getting this ratified maybe at our next council meeting. Is that fair?
That's okay to me.
Outstanding. All right, so that leaves us with exactly 15 minutes before we move into our next meeting. One of the other items we wanted to address tonight was our judges. So we're going to go ahead. We've got at least 6 resumes that we have received for this position. So I would like to see if everyone is here real quick. Do we have a Kate Spearman with us tonight? Okay. Do we have Mr. West with us tonight? Don't see over. All right. Do we have Ms. Batiste with us tonight? Outstanding. Thank you, ma'am. Do we have KN Alexis with us tonight? Okay. And then, do we have our candidate from the Bloomingstone firm with us tonight?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Brett. I appreciate you.
You said Bloomingstone, you said Brett. Can I get the full name?
Brett M. Bloomingstone.
Bloomington. Yes, sir.
There you go.
Brett Bloomingstone?
And then, do we have Mark Parnell with us tonight? Ladies?
Thank you.
Mr. Council
Thank you.
President,
Yes, thank you.
did you leave someone off? We have,
Oh, I apologize. We had a late submission. That would be is Lee Barnes with us tonight. Thank you very much. All right. So I would say ladies first. Ms. Batiste, if you could please come up, introduce yourself, and maybe give us a quick synopsis of why you would like to serve in this position, and we will give you.
Couple minutes.
Yeah, basically. We've got a total of 15 minutes with 3 candidates, so we'll cap it at 5. How about that?
And I have the full CV here, so if that could be passed around.
Please.
That's okay.
You're going to have to reach high.
One for each councilman. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Name's Dorothea Batiste. I would say a redheaded stepchild of the Irondale area. My house is probably about 2 houses over from the Irondale line, which I never knew about until one day I went to go vote and found out that I wasn't part of the family, technically. So, but I've been here in Irondale since 2003. Love the area. It's my home. there's so many things, like good things I could say about Irondale, but I know it has so much potential and growth. And my position is that I would love to be your Irondale judge. I have about 17 years of legal experience, and which I have enjoyed practice all over the state of Alabama, about 35,000 miles a year I would do, practicing from Mobile all the way up to Tenna, Alabama. Practice in criminal, probate, domestic relations. Enjoyed that, ran for office 2010, got elected, and I was in domestic relations, handling about 850 cases a day, basically a day. And disposed at the end of my term 6,200 cases. Most of the time I spent it till the wee hours of 1 o'clock in the morning, sometimes even missing holidays with my family, to try to move the docket, which was not easy because you could get rid of 190 cases, and the next day you'd have 180 cases coming in. So it was a very complex and very task-oriented and heavy load job. I ask you to consider me for your position of Irondale judge, and if you have any questions, I have submitted a CD of mine as well as 5 endorsements, particularly from the Alabama State NAACP with their full endorsement, as well as the Honorable Judge Eugene Garvin, who has 30 years on the bench, along with also the infamous Julie McPhillips, who is a civil rights attorney in Montgomery and throughout the state of Alabama, former Assistant Attorney General for the state of Alabama. A pastor that I love very much, John Killian, correct, as well as the school where I teach, Birmingham School of Law, and love my students there. So if there's any questions you'd like me to answer, I'm more than happy to.
I have a few questions. I just need some clarity. In looking over your resume, you mentioned that you handled over 850 cases.
Single day you come to the office, you have 800 cases sitting there for you to manage.
Okay.
And then by the end of the month, you would try to move at least somewhere between 100 to 190 by the end of that month. But by the time February 1st came around, you still had about the same number of cases, sometimes even more. So it was every single day having to manage that many cases. And domestic relations is very heavy, paper orientated, a lot of counting, numbers have to match. So, like I said, a lot of times I stay till 1 o'clock in the morning trying to move my cases.
Okay. My next question is, what skill requirements do you believe are essential for a municipal judge to have?
Well, I think thorough understanding of the ordinances, the historical aspects of the ordinances, as well as I think I've lived here, as I said before, in Irondale since 2003, and we have a diverse population. We have people from millionaires all the way down to people who are struggling, and especially with COVID, they're still struggling even more. So my position is that we have to reach all aspects of the Irondale community. I look at Irondale and say Irondale is strong as iron. That means that we're not weak, we are meek, and we have a heart of gold. And that means that we are willing to reach to the village of those who are reaching those to the top. And I believe that as a municipal judge, you should work with the community to try to help them find jobs. I believe that job fairs is a great way to try to help people find jobs, to be able to pay their probationary fees, as well as having teen outreach, because teens, sometimes make bad decisions and they deserve a second chance. We also have veterans, and that's particularly close to my heart, from losing my husband 3 years ago, who was a Gulf War vet. And vets go through a lot of post-traumatic stress, and sometimes they make poor decisions as well. So we need to be able to reach out to the vets as well.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Councilman Spivey, I had 2 other questions I wanted to ask.
Oh,
We could possibly get into that during the deliberation of agenda
Okay.
items. Thank you. All right, moving on to, let's see here, Brett and Bloomston, if you could come forward, please. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brett Bloomston. I am a criminal defense practitioner for the last 24 years here in Jefferson County and surrounding areas. I've served as a special circuit court judge. I've served as a special municipal court judge in the cities of Mountain Brook and in the cities of Vestavia. Most of my practice is criminal defense. I do a good bit of work in municipal courts. I've practiced in all municipalities in Jefferson County, Tuscaloosa County, and that's all I've done for the last 24 years. I enjoy my time on the bench. It is one of those rare opportunities that I get to have an impact on the folks that I'm dealing with, a direct impact. I enjoy, people ask me all the time, how do you do what you do? You're a criminal defense attorney. Most of the cases are not, quote, criminals. They're good people that have made bad decisions. And being a municipal court judge, you have a direct impact on folks who, frankly, may have never been in the justice system before. One of my mentors told me a long time ago that city court is where most citizens have their only taste of the entire justice system. And whether that's a traffic ticket or a criminal charge, it may be their only time to be in, quote, court. And it doesn't have to be unpleasant. So I took that as some good advice as a young lawyer. And experiences in municipal court do not need to be negative experiences. They don't have to be, you know, a bad thing for a person. Frankly, it could be the worst thing that's going on in that person's life, and it doesn't have to be an unpleasant place. Understand the goals of court, rehabilitation, and also, you know, making sure we live in a safe, healthy community. I lived in Irondale in the early 90s. My parents lived on Danton Lane, not too far from here, and I've always enjoyed the place. I welcome any questions.
Floor.
I have one question. Oh, did you have one? No. Okay. What duties do you believe are essential to fulfill the role of a municipal judge?
I think temperament is a big part of it. I've practiced law again in front of judges from every walk of life and every rural municipality to federal court. And the impact that you can have on a young person, for example, or a person who may be down on their luck and having some legal issues, again, it may be the only legal issues they've ever had. A good, fair temperament. This does not have to be an unpleasant experience for our citizens.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just have one. You mentioned before, you said you served in that capacity in other municipalities.
Yes, sir.
Which ones were there? You said Vestavia.
Vestavia, I was
Brook.
at Mountain Brook, and then as a special circuit court judge for the late Judge Richmond Pearson, who was a mentor of mine. And Judge Pearson had me sit special, those are actually jury trial cases for municipal appeals. So most of my practice has been with municipal courts in some capacity or another, so I'm quite familiar with the misdemeanor laws.
And that rounds us to 55 minutes after. Thank you very
Thank you.
much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, Lee Barnes, if you can come up and introduce yourself, please, sir.
Thank you, sir. My name is Lee Barnes. I've currently been serving as your judge. Prior to that, I spent 8 years as your public defender. I work closely with the police here, and you know, I think they told me there was my last interview I did that was on the internet, so I'm on Facebook because I have people say things about me I'm probably not going to like. You know, that's part of being the judge.
Join the crew.
I currently serve as a municipal judge in Pelham and I serve in Pelham and Springfield and Graysville at this time. I've served as municipal judge I've done special judging. I've been prosecutor in Leeds for 20 years. I've taught 2,800 cadets at the Sheriff's Academy. Some of them here on your force. But the biggest thing I see in being a municipal judge is pretty much what you've been told tonight. But the key is treat people like you want to be treated. Try to make a difference. Try to help somebody help themselves to do better. Try to help them. If you can get a man back his driver's license, that's life changing to a working man. You can go from getting by to making $15 an hour. Or if you have a substance abuse problem and you can go get counseling, or you have a domestic violence problem, you go get domestic violence counseling. Or if you can work with a young person and figure out how they won't be on that track anymore. The one thing that gives me probably more satisfaction than anything I've done is that you see people make a difference. And we've had people come through this court who've been able to make a difference. Now, I'm a very police judge. If the police call me in the middle of the night and say they need a warrant to sign to get somebody's blood, I think that you will find out from any of the police you talk to here, I will come over here at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning and sign the warrant. Or if we have a warrant that we need to sign, I can only sign a warrant for in this jurisdiction, but if we have a search warrant they need for somebody that they think that their exit circumstances and evidence going to get destroyed, I've come to sign those warrants whenever I was called. And, you know, we got great people in this court. The staff here is very good. They do an excellent job. You know, we've been having to fight through, just like every other place has, fighting through COVID. I mean, it's, you know, it's been an honor to serve. Like I've known most of the people here, and a lot of them have retired. But I tried to do the right thing as best I could. I tried to treat people as fairly as I could. And, you know, it's a hard job. I had a sovereign citizen that threatened to kill me, and then he sued me in state court, and he sued me in federal court, and that lawsuit went on 2 years here. But, you know, I got a ruling from the federal court saying that you have absolute immunity if you are acting in your capacity as judge. Let me ask y'all, do y'all have any questions? I'll be glad to answer them. I'm sorry, I'm a big talker. I was a car man before I became a lawyer.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
How much time will you commit to serving as Irondale's municipal judge, and explain why?
How much time it takes, whatever you got. I'm going to answer my phone and try to answer that question, or if the police call and ask you a question, or if you need a warrant. As much time as you spend, how much time it takes to do the job. Whatever's asked is what you're going to do.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. All right. As far as, we'll take the next 2 minutes on tonight's agenda, and then obviously we have a time where we can deliberate on agenda items. But I'm going to go ahead and introduce some new. Let me just move this. These resolutions that we will talk about tonight, me and James have me and Mayor Stewart have communicated extensively, and we feel that there has maybe been some disagreement on some particular positions, but in a sense of unity, and through a sense of unity, we're going to introduce some additional resolutions tonight to move forward with Mayor Stewart's selections that he has made. So, yes, sir. Yes, Councilman London, please, go on up before we transition into the next meeting. I saw you back there, but so there is existing resolution, which will be to appoint a municipal judge. We also have a new resolution to appoint prosecutor. We have a new resolution to appoint the public defender, and then we have appoint the attorney. So it is 6 o'clock now. We will go ahead and transition into our actual council meeting and discuss these new resolutions. Councilman London, would you be prepared to lead us in the invocation and the pledge? All right, thank you.
Gracious Heavenly, thank you for another opportunity, Father, to serve the city of Irondale. Father, we ask you to, Father, to just guide our hearts tonight, guide our mind, and we'll make the best decisions for the people around Irondale, Father. We bless this council, Father, and thank you for them. And Father, we thank you for our mayor, Stewart, Father, for leading the city forward. Father, we ask in all of Jesus Christ that we thank you. Sure, Savior. Amen. States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. I would like to go ahead and call this meeting to order. If we could go ahead and have a roll call. Councilman London, if you could get us started off.
Present.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
Here.
Councilman Box?
I'm here.
Councilman Wilson? And myself, present. All right, so we have a item for the approval of prior minutes for the council meeting and regular council meeting. Can we go ahead and have a motion for that?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes for the pre-council, regular council meeting, and the dates on here, but yeah, from our previous council meeting. I'm sorry, I don't have the date.
And that would be the date of November the 4th, 2020.
Okay, November 4th, 2020.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion adopted. In regards to the current bills for payments, if we could get a motion on that.
Make a motion to pay the bills in an amount of $96,862.79.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I myself. At this time, we would look for any professional or consultant reports. Okay. Now, our next item would be the mayor's report. Mayor Stewart, if you may.
First of all, I'd like to say good evening to everyone, and we are very excited that you're here to be with us tonight to be able to conduct the business of the city. There are actually 6 things that I want to share with you, and I'll be very brief and moving them along. We would like to schedule a work session for November 24th, 2020 at 6 p.m. to discuss revising our current comprehensive plan. And also, I would like to invite Reed Kavanaugh, who was going to give a bond presentation to the old council. He would like to come and give that presentation to the new council since we are all here. The second thing is I would like to schedule a water board meeting for December the 2nd, 2020 at 5 p.m., which means that that meeting will take place an hour before our regular scheduled council meeting. I am trying to be very respectful of your time, and I know that you don't want to come out every night to be going to a meeting for the city, so we're going to try to make sure that we can schedule a lot of things on the same date. Also, we're currently working on the general fund budget as well as the capital fund budget. I would like to have that before the council on December the 16th, 2020. I plan on having at least one meeting in this room for the public. And I also would like to have a virtual meeting with the whole community to allow everyone to participate in the process. But the dates for those 2 meetings are to be determined. Saturday, November the 21st, we're having a Thanksgiving food giveaway in front of City Hall. We will have over 336 boxes of food that we're going to give to individuals that are in need. So it will be here at 9 o'clock in front of City Hall. We're just asking people to be able to line up in their cars. And as they are lined up in their cars, we will put those boxes in their cars, and hopefully they will have a extremely happy Thanksgiving. I have my nice public works director. Frank says he gets an opportunity to be able to do everything. So Frank is helping out with the transportation, and Lee is also helping out with the logistical part of it. So you should see some information on Facebook and some of the city media sites that we're going to be giving food out in front of City Hall to be able to help those that are in need. Also, I wanted to talk about, is the grocery store coming or is the grocery store not coming? Facebook says that it's not coming, but I talked to the developer last Friday, and the grocery store is still on board to come to the city of Irondale. We're probably 60 days away from finalizing the deal. There are at least 4 sticking points that we have to work through as a city to be able to bring the development to the finish line. But I feel very confident with the staff and the attorneys and the city council that we will be able to bring this whole project to fruition. And my last thing is, if you've been asking questions about when are we going to get a new city clerk, Frank will be very happy to answer that question for you. And I'm quite sure he'll be happy more than anybody once we can appoint somebody to that position. Frank is, I would just say he's a hell of an employee. He said, James, if you need me to step in and to be able to do it, as long as I need to do it for the city, I will be here to serve. However, I have received 21 applications from the Personnel Board. I'm going to ask Lee to make a copy of all of those applications, and I'm going to put those applications in the City Councilor's box. And since you all said that that is your appointment, then I'm going to let you work through it, and you tell me who you want to be able to put in that position. So I'm moving out of the way, and I'm going to stay in my lane. And when you all inform me of who that person is going to be, I'll be more than happy to complete the process with the Personnel Board. That's all I have tonight, President Spivey.
Thank you, Mayor Stewart. I appreciate that graciousness with that additional workload that we're going to have to work through. And congratulations. It sounds like your time has come, Frank, but I'm sure it has nothing to do with your job performance.
Council President, I have one question. Mayor Stewart, you mentioned December the 16th for the general fund and capital fund, but there's no time. Do you have a time for that?
That's our regular schedule, Council.
Regular schedule, okay.
Thank you. As far as the other reports, Councilman Wilson, if you would like to start us off.
Yes, I sure can. I just have a couple of things I want to mention. District 5, during the election, I guess, I'm not much of a social media type person. I've said that already. I think Facebook and some of these other sites are so negative. I'm just totally against social media. But anyway, I would like to announce that as far as District 5, I will be having the agenda and some of the councilman comments for District 5 that will be available. That will come out pretty soon, probably sometime in December, if not December, the 1st of January. So District 5 residents will be able to kind of come in, ask questions. I get feedback and things like that through my social media page. So more information to come from that. And I also would like to commend the inspector, the City of Irondale, Mayor Stewart, for the fine job that he's been doing at Holiday Gardens. I drive around quite often and I notice either there's a sticker that's on somebody's window, thanks for the police department for going around and doing that. Well, who put the stickers on? Is it the inspector or police?
Police Department.
Police, okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so I would like to thank them for kind of looking at all the abandoned cars that's on the side, plus the inspector for kind of going by and leaving letters on these houses that's really not up to par. As far as my citizens comment, I said I'll have a citizens comment based on the emails that I receive constantly from citizens in my area and all over Irondale. One thing I would like to address, Mayor Stewart, is the ditch that's behind Starlight on Starlight Drive. If you could kind of get with Frank, I know this is not the time where we have a lot of mosquitoes or whatever, but it has been mentioned that if we can do something about the ditch that's behind these few houses, specifically 5201, it floods, that ditch floods, and during the summertime it breeds a lot of mosquitoes and things like that. So if we can take a look at that, I don't know if it'll be a county situation or a city, but if we could kind of go by and address that particular issue or see what concern that citizen have, that would be great. That's all that I have.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Box?
Yes, thanks everybody for coming. I'm gonna take this off so maybe people can hear me a little better, if that's okay with everyone. I just want to tell you that I'm glad that the citizens of District 4 put me here. I'm trying to get in place and have already started with, Councilman Wilson said he didn't enjoy Facebook. I'll wait and see what happens, but I'm actually reaching out to the citizens of District 4 through several Facebook apps. Also, my email address is up and running now, and I've got it set up with my laptop to receive emails or text message or my cell phone, whichever way you want to get in touch with me. I will be disseminating information through all of those venues to the citizens of District 4. And we'll love to comment or dialogue with citizens of Irondale in general, but mainly District 4 would be the ones that your wishes will, for the most part, be my command. It's an interesting learning curve, and so I just appreciate the opportunity again to serve. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Clear?
Good evening, everyone, and as Councilman Box said, welcome and thank you so much for coming. It's wonderful to see so many people here who have an interest in their city. And I'd like to echo what Councilman Box has said as far as the different means of communicating with you. That was one of my commitments to District 3, that I would communicate decisions that are made in this council and try and get you as much information as I can so that you can be informed, and you are always welcome to call me. You have my number on Facebook. I've given several cards away. And I also have an email address at the City of Irondale. I just got set up earlier this afternoon. So if you go on to, I believe if you go to our website, you'll find my email address there. And I'd also like to thank those of you that contacted me in regard to a resolution that we're going to be considering tonight in regard to the municipal judge appointment. I thank you for calling me and giving me your feedback. Please know that I'm taking that into account. Thank you so much. And lastly, I want to wish everyone a very blessed Thanksgiving. I know we're in a pandemic right now. Some of you aren't able to see your family, I being one, but there's always FaceTime, there's always the telephones, and I just know that I'm with you. I understand what it's like to be not around your family, but I still wish you a very blessed Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman London?
Thank you, Mr. President. One thing, Mr. Mayor, the food drive, is that Irondale resident only?
No, it's for the first 336 people we
Okay.
can get.
All right. That's 9. I know it starts at 9. What time you need workers here? I know it starts at 9 o'clock. What time you need us to be here?
Probably around 8 o'clock, Frank? 8 o'clock.
Okay. All right, just want to make sure. First of all, thank you, Mr. President. Thanks for one announcement I have is that I'm working on, and I know Councilman Wilson don't like social media, but I enjoy social media.
I just, now let's clear something up, Councilman London. Let's clear something up real quick. I don't like all the negative,
Yeah, I understand.
the negative and the bashing and the just devilish comments.
Yeah,
And it really turns me off. It just really turns me off.
well, when you go to my page, it's all positive. Nothing negative.
Rest assured, the naughty list is increasing, and so we're going to work on some of those things that can't be nice.
But I'm working on quarterly. I haven't decided. I'm gonna put some on my Facebook page with a citizen District 1 to decide either a Zoom meeting, because I'm gonna try to be as transparent as I can the next 4 years. Either I'm gonna put together a quarterly Zoom meeting just for conversation about what's going on in your neighborhood, or of course you live where you live. I live where I live. You know exactly what you need in your communities. And so we're going to put together either a Facebook page, but I like the Zoom because it's more personal. You know, I'm a guy, you know, I don't comment a lot on Facebook negative. You know, I like to meet a person face to face, shake his hand, look in his eyes. You know, my dad always told me, you know, meet a man face to face, shake his hand, look in his eyes, and then you can really get something out of it. And so I don't go back and forth on my Facebook page with people. But I think Zoom is kind of more personal than a Facebook deal. So I'm looking at putting a Zoom meeting, maybe quarterly, monthly, just a conversation, with your councilman, District London, District 1, John London. So I'm gonna put that on my Facebook page. Let me know which one you think you like the best. Is it the Zoom meeting or the Facebook page? And hopefully the first of the year we have that up and running. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. And as far as my announcements go, here in a moment when we move to the next item on the agenda, I'm going to introduce a gentleman, Marcus Ferris. I think I see you back there. Good to see you, sir. He is doing some great work in the Bend over here, just right behind us. That's an area that seems to have been not represented fairly or equally throughout I'll probably say the past administrations. There's a lot of fantastic people that live in that area. They really don't reach out much, but but when they do, there's usually something something to handle. And I know, Frank, you worked with me recently on something, so I thank you for that. He is working on setting up a neighborhood association over the Bend, and we kind of both agreed that should serve as a fantastic avenue in order to gather information, concerns, things of that nature. Councilman Wilson, I think you've had a lot of success around the Holiday Gardens and how it's helped you communicate your constituents' message and everything like that. So we're going to get to this next area where we'll call up some non-council committees. But I just wanted to take this opportunity, and Marcus, obviously, please introduce yourself when you come up as well. And I just want to thank you for the work that you're beginning and what you'll be doing. So that concludes my report. That being said, we will go ahead and we will move into
Council President Spivey, can
Yes,
I just
sir.
make one more announcement?
Absolutely.
I wanted to let everybody know that the leaf truck is actually running through the neighborhoods. But that doesn't mean that you're not supposed to bag your leaves. It just means that the truck is coming through your neighborhood to be able to clean out the curbs and to make sure that the leaves don't blow down into the storm drains. So the leaf truck is not there for you to rake your leaves to the end of your yard and expect for somebody to get them. You are supposed to still bag your leaves, but the truck is there to be able to make sure that we can keep our storm drains clean.
Thank you, and that is, I know that's going to be a welcome sight as that truck rolls down the streets. I know I've got a huge pecan tree in my neighbor's yard, and it's amazing the reach that sucker has. So I'm looking forward to that. I know all of our citizens are, and they've been asking for it for as long as I've been around here. So that is a huge celebration. So thank you for that announcement. Moving forward into let's see here, reports, boards and non-council committees. Marcus Ferris, if you'd like to go ahead and join us real quick.
Excuse me.
You could introduce yourself and tell us about some of the work that you're doing.
Nobody saw that. My name is Marcus Ferris. I live at 2306 2nd Avenue, South Irondale. I'm the Vice President of the Scottsdale Neighborhood Association. We have gotten together, association, like I said, I am the Vice President. We've gotten together and sent out emails and texts to everybody, and we wanted to see what everybody's concerns were. And of course, there are a few. I just have 2 or 3 of them. One is going to be the lots around the Bend. That's going to be one of them. Cleaning them and trimming them. That's going to be one. That's one of the biggest ones that we got through our survey.
Those are empty, overgrown lots, Marcus.
Secondly, storm drains, just like the mayor said, but I will go back and tell my people that they bag their leaves.
Okay.
Cleaning of alleys. There's a ditch between 22nd and 3rd Avenue that's full of leaves and other debris. And also just generally clean streets. And also, number 4, there was a couple of complaints about that red business on 1st Avenue about the parking, because a lot of cars sometimes park up there, and nobody's able to see once you come up 23rd Street up to First Avenue North to make the left or the right. So that was some of the complaints that they had.
You're referring to the new bakery?
Right, that's correct.
Outstanding.
All right.
I look forward to these reports, and do y'all have a regular scheduled meeting at this time?
We're shooting for second Tuesday of the month.
Second Tuesday?
At 7:00 p.m. As of right now, it's on Zoom. We're gonna do Zoom.
Okay. And I'm always willing to attend if my presence is requested.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Do we have any other non-council board or committees that would like to report at this time? Okay, perfect. So we're going to go ahead and move into our next area, which would be council deliberation on agenda items only. And like I mentioned earlier, this agenda was published with one resolution on it, which was R61, that appoints blank as the municipal judge for the next 2 years. That's a 2-year appointment. It will need to be readdressed. And Mayor Stewart, I'm sure you'll keep us on task to make sure that we fulfill that commitment and not let it lapse.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. So we went through the judge candidates very quickly. So I would like to open the floor in a structured manner for maybe at least one more question, if there is one out there. Councilman London, I know that you were a little late arriving, so I wanted to see first if you had any questions for the 3 candidates that are with us tonight.
I heard the question asked.
Okay, perfect. All right, Cindy, Councilman Cuellar, are there any other questions that you need to ask at this time?
No, I'm good. I was able to ask them with the other candidates.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Councilman Box?
No, I'm good. I've been looking at the resumes for several days.
Outstanding, thank you. And then Councilman Wilson? Perfect. I myself am good as well. All right. So an updated resolution would be R62. Once again, these following resolutions were put out in a spirit of unity with Mayor Stewart. There have been resolutions of this nature on the dockets before, but we felt as a spirit of unity that we would go ahead and have these out there on the agenda for deliberation. So that being said, Resolution 2020 R62 would appoint Brandon C. Prince as municipal prosecutor. Is there any deliberation on that this time?
Who's the recommendation, Mayor?
Yes. Resolution R6.
I just have one question. On this resolution, if my understanding is correct on this, the prosecutor, wasn't that filled by the city attorney before?
Yes and no, and Mayor Stewart, you might have to correct me a little bit, but there was an inability to fulfill duties. Can you take us back on that history lesson?
Yes, the prosecutor is a part of the firm that represents the city as the city attorney. However, Mr. Charlie Waldrop operated as a sole proprietor as the prosecutor. And the city attorney was up under Waldrop, Stewart, and Kendricks. So it was actually 2 separate appointments. We paid the law firm a $20,000 retainer a month, and we paid Mr. Waldrop $3,000 a month to be the prosecutor for the municipal court.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 2020 R63 would authorize the mayor to contract with Everett West to become the Irondale Municipal Court Public Defender. I believe he's been serving in that role previously, Mayor Stewart?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. And then finally, Resolution R64 would basically, it basically reads that the City Council, City of Irondale, of Alabama, contract with April B. Danielson, an attorney with the firm Wallace, Jordan, Ratliff, and Grant, to hereby be appointed to serve as the city attorney for the city of Irondale, Alabama for the term of 4 years. So those are your additional resolutions. Is there any additional deliberation on any of these?
I did have a question. There was some mention of the possibility of appointing an alternate judge as well. Is that something we can discuss in this, or does that have to go with a later time?
I do not recall that. Who was that discussed with?
I brought it up. I don't know if it didn't get relayed to you appropriately, so is that something that we can add, or that would have to come at a later time?
Mayor Stewart, has there ever been a precedent for an alternate judge to serve in any capacity if one wasn't able so?
We've never appointed per se a alternate judge, but I did have the conversation with Councilman Box and shared with him that if he would like to appoint an alternate tonight, that he could make a motion to do that.
Okay. So are we discussing adding an additional resolution?
If we can do that, yes, I'd like to look at that.
Okay.
Council President Spivey, it could be a part of that same resolution.
I think that would be a lot cleaner.
Yes,
Thank you
we'll
very
just
much.
make the wording that one would be the primary and one would be the alternate.
I'm used to having the freedom to flip through this material on my laptop. I'm transitioning over to paper to try to keep myself organized better. Okay. So in regards to any of the items that we've discussed this far, there are no further deliberation required. Councilman Wilson?
I have one. As far as the term, trying to think, the term for the prosecutor, is that 2 or 4 years, and the public defender? What's the term on those?
On R62, it will be for 4 years.
And R63 as well?
In R63, and I did leave something off on R62. It would appoint Roderick J. Evans to also serve in a 4-year capacity as the alternate prosecutor in the absence of the municipal prosecutor. So I apologize for that. That's 62. What was that, Councilman Wilson?
Hold on, run that by me one more time.
Sure.
So the alternate 2 again?
The alternate would be Roderick J. Evans for alternate prosecutor. Your original query was on which position?
Yeah,
Councilman Wilson?
prosecutor 4 years, the public defender 4 years as well?
Yes, those terms usually runs with the quadrennial. It runs with the term of the council and mayor. The judge is only 2 years because state law says that it can only be 2 years, and then you have to come back and renew it.
Thank you.
So, Council President Spivey, the question I would have would be the resolution R61. We're actually going to add appointing a judge alternate or alternate judge on that resolution.
Absolutely.
Very good.
He's writing it as we speak. So basically, we will structure it similar to R62. I will use that wording. Be it further resolved that blank is hereby appointed to serve as alternate municipal judge in the absence of the municipal judge for a term of exactly 2 years. Thank you very much. Do we want to go ahead and do you have a candidate for that? Robert Vox? Councilman Vox?
Did you want to say something about it?
No, you can go ahead. I just want to make sure we stay in line as far as the attendance.
Understood.
So do we need to go ahead and mention?
No, we'll go ahead and add that nomination at the time we introduce it. I just want to make sure you had a nomination in mind
So
before we get to that point.
Introduce the nomination if
Outstanding.
everyone's okay. That I would like to nominate Judge Lee Barnes as the primary municipal judge
We need to go ahead and approve the agenda first, and then
Okay.
once we go into that, we'll go ahead and move that.
Well, before you move on, I did have a question on the last resolution, R-64, with the attorney. I haven't seen a proposal of the scope of services, and I'd be interested because I'm concerned with pending litigation. We currently have 2 cases that are very serious. One is for $3 million, and the other is for $7 million and counting. And in speaking about this issue with the Alabama League of Municipalities legal team, they strongly urged us to think real long and hard about this, because this is one of the biggest mistakes that we as a council can make if we're not really looking at this seriously. And why are they so emphatic on this issue? Because any litigation that predates the contract is covered by the old contract. So the city won't have to go back and expend additional funds to have a law firm review and come up to speed on a pending litigation case. In other words, the city won't have to go back to where they started. And the case that's worth $7 million continues to grow. And I'll be brief in this summary and why it's a concern for me, because this summary just really covers the essential elements of the case that's involved. It concerns the issue of the fuel tax.
Councilwoman Cuellar, that's something we can easily sum up in an executive session in regards to review of pending litigation.
Okay. So can we break and go into executive session before we vote on this resolution?
Like I said, in the spirit of unity, we have a resolution to accept who the mayor has proposed as far as a resolution to move forward. In regards to addressing any particular pending litigation, I feel that that can be addressed in an executive session, not tonight.
Okay. So just for the sake of clarity here, this proposal of the scope of services does not include litigation. That's separate, right?
The scope of services does cover litigation.
I can speak to it. The scope of service deals with litigation. The question that I would like to ask any counselor, because I've continually heard everyone throw out that we're in the middle of pending litigation. However, my question to you, have you actually talked to the attorney that's handling the case to determine exactly where we are in the midst of this pending litigation?
I have, sir.
Could you, did they tell you exactly
And the
when
question is, if you asked them also?
I sure have. I talked to Wayne Morse, who is actually handling the case, who was actually out here in October to give me an update on the case. Now, the first case that you're talking about, which is the Mercedes case, that case is not close to being settled. And it does not require an attorney to go back and have to start off all over again before they can get to the point where we need to be now, because I don't even believe that the case has gone to court. I know that I've answered some depositions, but other than that, that's about it for that case. And then you mentioned the Norfolk case, which deals with the diesel tax. That case has so many plaintiffs that's a part of that case. That case is not even scheduled to go to court until sometimes in 2021. So when you're talking about pending litigation, we're not talking about anything that's getting ready to take place within the next month, within the next 2 months, probably not even within the next 6 months. And we also had the discussion that if the law firm review the pending litigation that we have in front of them, and if it's going to cost the city more money for them to begin the litigation process, we would allow the old firm to continue to handle the case, because they do not want to put an extra financial burden on the city.
And that was my concern, sir, is that we would have to expend additional funds to go back where we started with all the research, because this is a 2-year-old case. And that was my concern. My concern is the best interest of Irondale. And I don't want us to spend money that's not necessary, that's already covered in the contract. And that's why I'm bringing this issue up.
And once again, I do believe that we can quell those concerns in an executive session. Thank you for your comments. So we have an agenda with some added resolutions. Would someone go ahead and make a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
May we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. All right, going forward, now would be the time for public comments on agenda items only. Okay, we have no comments?
You got one.
Oh, thank you, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
Name and address, please, sir.
Ross Quayle, 5632 Haven Hill. I've heard all these names somehow, but I haven't heard any dollars. When we're starting to hire attorneys, hire this, hire that, I didn't hear anything about other contracts like the mayor can negotiate up to a certain point, dollars. How do we know what the dollars are going to cost us?
And are you referring to all of the positions that we've talked about
Yes, sir.
tonight?
I mean, the attorney, I don't know how it's structured payment-wise
Sure.
on the judge, but for the city attorney and these things, do we know what it's gonna cost us?
Yes, we do, and a lot of the, Mayor Stewart actually mentioned that at a previous meeting. I believe it might have even been our swearing-in ceremony, sir?
It was at the swearing-in ceremony. Currently, we're paying $276,000 for general representation and for the prosecutor. With the new firm, we would pay $216,000, and that includes prosecution and also general representation of the firm. So that's $60,000 a month, $60,000 a year, $240,000 a year that the city would save, that we could reallocate to be able to do some things that are really beneficial to the citizens instead of paying it in attorney fees.
Okay, are these numbers put into this resolution?
They're put into the proposal that we're accepting through this
They're
resolution.
put into the proposal, and at the end of the day, the council approves every bill. So the council approves the bill every time we have a council meeting on the first and third
Okay.
Wednesday. So the council will see the bill, they will approve it.
Okay.
And then finally, for the other appointments, those are static and stated in our current laws, correct, sir?
Okay, I just wanted clarification of whether we're still negotiating on that, or whether that should be included in the resolution.
Well, if you look
Resolution.
at the resolution for the public defender, it's $19,200. If you look at the resolution for the judge, we're currently paying the judge $2,800, but we will not continue to pay the judge $2,800 because COVID has cut into the amount of revenue that is being produced by the municipal court. The prosecutor is paid $3,000 a month. We've negotiated with the new prosecutor to pay them $2,000 a month, which is a savings of $1,000 a month, which is equivalent to $12,000 a year. So every individual that I've recommended is well qualified to do the job, but is also saving the city money at the same time.
Okay. Where would we have seen these resolutions?
Well, the agenda was put out through various means.
I know the agenda says we're gonna talk about resolution number so-and-so,
Yep.
but we've got no idea what's in that resolution.
The resolutions have never been put out when the agenda has been sent out, Mr. Graham.
Well, I'm just asking.
And we've only gave individuals the resolutions when they requested it. So this is nothing that has happened to
I'm
me
not-
over the last 8 years.
I'm not throwing stones, I'm just asking because.
And I'm just answering your question.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Graham, I appreciate it.
Any other comments on agenda items only? Thank you very much. So going forward with resolution 2020 R61, be it hereby resolved, the City Council, City of Irondale, Alabama, in regular meeting duly assembled, a quorum that would present blank as hereby appointed, serve as municipal judge for 2 years, and add a alternative judge in the absence of a municipal judge for the same term. May we have a nomination?
I'd like to nominate Judge Lee Barnes for the primary municipal judge and Judge Dorothy Batiste as the alternate municipal judge.
We have a second.
Second.
Roll call, Councilman London.
Do I have another nomination?
We do need the second part of that nomination, sir.
Can I get my nomination also?
Well, the motion's on the floor, so we need to go ahead and carry through with it.
I'm gonna say no, that's not my team.
Okay, Councilman Wilson,
I'm abstaining.
you're abstaining, and myself, that would be a no. So let's go ahead, and would someone else like to make a motion for 2020 R61?
I'd like to make a motion that Brett Bloomstone will be primary and Batiste to be the alternate.
May we have a second? I myself second it. Is everybody else in favor? Any other one in favor? We're going to do a roll call. Councilman London?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
No.
Councilman Box?
No.
Councilman Wilson?
Yes.
Myself, yes. The motion carries. Thank you. Resolution R62. Be it resolved by the City Council for the City of Irondale that Brandon C. Prince is hereby appointed to serve as municipal prosecutor for a term of 4 years, and also that Roderick J. Evans is here appointed to serve as alternate prosecutor in the absence of a municipal prosecutor for the same term.
Question. Is Roger Evans here?
He is. He's with the law firm of Wallace Jordan.
I'm sorry.
I always go by Rod, so when you see the whole thing,
I'm
that's the
so used to
question.
calling you Rod.
I understand.
Okay,
Okay. So would someone like to make a motion?
I make a motion that we approve resolution, 2020 R-62.
May we have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Yes.
Councilman London?
Yes.
Councilwoman Box?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
Yes.
Councilman Box?
Yes.
Councilman Wilson?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Motion carries. In regards to Resolution 2020 R-63, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Irondale that the City Council authorizes the mayor to contract with Everett West to become the City of Irondale Municipal Court Public Defender in the amount of $19,200. Someone make a motion for that, please.
Make a motion 20 or 63 be moved.
Second? I myself will second that. Councilman London, roll
Yes.
call.
Yes.
Councilwoman Box? Councilwoman Cuellar?
Yes.
Councilman Box?
Yes.
Councilman Wilson?
No.
No. Myself, yes. All right. A resolution appointing, so 2020 R-64, a resolution appointing the city attorney for City of Irondale, Alabama. Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Irondale, Alabama, that April B. Danielson, an attorney with the firm of Wallace, Jordan, Ratliff, and Brandt, LLC, is hereby appointed to serve as City Council for the City of Irondale, Alabama, for a term of 4 years. Does someone put that, make a motion?
Make a motion 2020 R-64 be moved.
Second?
Question. Could you read that resolution again one more time?
Sure. Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Irondale, Alabama, that April B. Danielson, an attorney with the firm of Wallace, Jordan, Ratliff, and Brandt, LLC, is hereby appointed to serve as the city attorney for the City of Irondale, Alabama, for a term of 4 years.
Okay. I'm sorry, I thought I heard city council in there somewhere.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. So we got a second? Roll call?
Roll call, Councilman Lennon?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cuellar?
Yes.
Councilman Box?
I'm going to abstain.
Councilman Wilson?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Motion carries. So we find ourselves at the end of our agenda, where we would welcome public comments to the council on non-agenda items. I saw Mr. Moreno stand up first.
Thank you. Stephen Marino, 374 Bainbridge Trace Drive, and y'all excuse me for reading tonight, but I want to take the time to get everything said. At the November 4, 2020 council meeting, the replacement of 2 vacant positions for the CDA was concluded. I was a member of the previous council when the selection process was initiated. My comments are for the video record because public comments are not recorded in the minutes. And these involve statements made by Councilor London at the November 4th meeting in regards to this replacement process. These statements are recorded approximately 29 minutes and 50 seconds into the video. Councilor London was present in 2 meetings where the CDA was instructed to rate 2 candidates for each vacant position out of the candidate pool. Citing candidate quality, the CDA ranked all 5 candidates that had submitted their names. 2 names were submitted for the partial term and 3 names for the full term. He then stated that Mr. Doug Jones had withdrawn his name, information that was not shared with the previous council. He followed that revelation with 2 separate statements of Mr. Jones being ranked number 4. Mr. Jones, in fact, was ranked number 2 for a 4-year position against Mr. Paul Saucier, who was subsequently approved at the November 4th council meeting. These candidate rankings were given in writing to each council member at the October 6th meeting of the council. And then Council London then made comments about his disappointment over Mr. Jones' withdrawal, citing his impeccable resume. If he had not withdrawn, I trust the council would have considered his comments during the interview process, which is also on the video record, criticizing both the city and the CDA on more than one occasion. In my opinion and my experience, a resume is never the only determinant when selecting a candidate for any position, volunteer or paid. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, and Councilman London, thank you for forwarding me that letter today.
You're welcome.
I appreciated that.
You're welcome.
All right. Do we have any other comments about non-agenda items? Yes, sir, Mr. Schoen.
I'm John Schoen, 3848 Rock Ridge Road. I just wanted to mention a couple of things that are going on here that ironically have been mentioned here, and I emailed everybody here. Exchange Club of Irondale has got their Christmas and Irondale program working again this year. We will be distributing food before Christmas. We will look for recommendations. I've asked for all the councilmen to send recommendations to our club. Also, the Chamber of Commerce and the Exchange Club, as well as other groups in our community, are sponsoring a Christmas adventure here in Irondale on the 5th of December at 4 o'clock to 7. So everybody's invited to it. We'll have a tree lighting and everything, but I just wanted to mention that. Oh, one other thing. Always is one of that. When are we going to get the lights, Frank, on the main drag down Irondale?
We'll put them up the first working day of December.
First working day of December? Are there any plans for any other lights that haven't been done up in Irondale? Because there's a couple of other lights on Crestwood Boulevard that haven't been changed out.
Yes. You're talking about street lighting?
Yes.
Yes. They are complete with all the neighborhoods. We're doing the survey starting Monday. We've got 1,600, I think 90-something lights now that have been changed to LED. We will start on the Highway 78 and Highway 11 lighting Tuesday. They should finish that within several weeks. So in the next 2 weeks, you should be able to see a major difference on Highway 78 with the LED lighting.
It'll make a major difference all the way around. It really has helped out in the neighborhoods. I'd like to thank the city prodding Alabama Power to getting into the effort and getting that completed. Thank you.
Mr. Shaw, what was that, December 5th, what time you say?
4 o'clock.
Okay.
And 4 till about 7, I believe it is planned.
John, I appreciate you bringing that up. I know the information's been on y'all's website as well as the chamber. There's been a drive on it's been posted on the community forums and things of that nature. There seems to be a really strong effort behind that.
I appreciate it. There's a box out in the hall out here that we're collecting food in also. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments, Mr. Bishop?
Ron Bishop, 944 Richard Post Lane. November 4th, 2020, we had a meeting here. We discussed the judgeships. During that meeting, Mr. London emphatically stated that he had never, in the 8 years he's been here, interviewed judges for the position. And then Mr. Wilson popped up and said, in the 14 years he's been here, he's flabbergasted. He's astonished that this would even come up. It's always been the mayor that's done this. Well, gentlemen, you know you lied. You sat up here.
I appreciate your comments, Ron. I really appreciate your comments on that. If you feel that there is something that you need to take up, then you have that pathway to do so, but I thank you for your comments.
I don't get my 2 minutes.
We're not necessarily enforcing that rule tonight. I just don't know, I don't see the benefit of any of this further
Two city council
conversation.
members, sitting city council members lie.
I don't want to close this floor down,
and
Ron.
everyone else.
I don't want to close this floor down. I will close this floor down.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bishop.
Mr. President, can I respond though, just for 2 minutes?
I do not feel that that would be productive.
Well, because I need to respond because this killed me on Facebook. And then, when a person, tries to destroy your reputation, it's a bit different. Because my last name, London, it's a pretty good name that I've built up in the city of Irondale. Now, just a short comment, and we'll move on. That's going to be the last year from it. Now, a recollection of events doesn't mean it was a lie. And I always could stand to be corrected. Simple, just simple as that.
I would attribute that to maybe just I even struggled to remember exactly what we did 4 years ago at this time. I did appreciate the videos as a reminder, so I am thankful for that service. But I would chalk that up to, extending grace, would chalk that up to just maybe not remembering exactly everything we did 4 years ago. Would that be something that you might agree with me on?
Well, I'm just saying, my comment is this, and this is going to be the last you hear about this.
Fair enough.
You know, I'm not the perfect guy. I never admitted I was perfect. You know, and so if I think that everybody that talked to me and lied to me and I'm mad at that, then I'm going to have a hard time living in this world. 4 years ago, 8 years ago, you know, I went back and looked at the video myself, and I stood myself corrected. I didn't have to watch it posted by one of our citizens. What would happen? I went back and watched it myself and realized that I could be stand corrected. That's okay. I made a mistake. But what's not shown on the video is that we took the recommendation of our mayor. That's the meeting we had behind doors, closed doors. We always took the recommendation behind the mayor. That wasn't on video. So that video doesn't tell all of the story. You see, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful that when you see something, that you think that's the whole story. That's not the whole story.
And thank you for your comments, Councilman.
That's why I'm done with that. I'm done with that because Iron District 1 put me back in office. I didn't have to pay anybody off. They put me back in office because they know that this seat, District 1, has been served with integrity. And I made some mistakes in the past 8 years. Matter of fact, I'm 56 years old. And I have made numerous mistakes. You ask my wife about that. You know, but she still loves me.
Mine as well.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm gonna wipe that in the book.
Thank you, Councilman Lundberg. And a lot of why, like I said, why we went through some of these exercises tonight is once again to try to bring, an attempt to bring this council together with our mayor in a sense of unity. My dream over the next 4 years is that we are able to work in unity as one body successfully to move this city forward. That is all I am personally trying to do here, and I think that is all everyone else on this dais and down here with us tonight. And Frank, while you're with us up here, I think that is all we are trying to do, is to move this city through the next 4 years through a spirit of unity and cooperation. So, Councilman Locks?
When you get finished, I just have a comment.
Any more comments?
Okay, and we have one, do we have another comment?
Yeah, we do.
So you gotta give her 2 minutes?
2 minutes, it won't take that long. I just want to say, I know with all the going back and forth, sometimes it may seem negative, but I am excited about what's about to happen in Irondale. I just wanted to let you know. I think we will be able to move forward in unity. We had our first meeting and we had our representatives there, and we are supportive of all this entire new administration, and we're excited about what is about to happen. So sometimes don't let the negative get in the way of what's about to happen. As a matter of fact, expect it. Expect it. I'm not talking about any particular person, but expect expect the enemy to raise his head when something great is about to happen. So I'm excited, and we have to have some of these tough discussions because that's part of getting to the truth. So I'm just want to say I'm excited about what's about to happen. I think we need to be moving forward. We don't want to be left behind. We need to be responsive to the citizens of Irondale, whatever district they're in.
Thank you, Ms. Rachel.
Thank you.
Any final comments on non-agenda items? Good evening. If you could state your name and address.
Jackie Crandall, 4301 Cahaba Cove Road. I've reached out to each of you previously. I think again tonight's a good case of it. During these COVID circumstances, we are stretched thin on capacity, and the more that we want citizen involvement, the more important it is to have adequate space so that people can attend and be involved. And I don't know what it looks like. I don't have an answer, and I hate that I can't bring an idea to help solve the problem. So I would really like to try to keep that on the front of mind, but not long term, but in the short term, if we could find a bigger space to meet so that more people can be present and be involved in our city and hearing how you all are conducting business and doing well to lead us. And so I just want to add that back in, that maybe we can continue that thought to try to find a place that we can hold people so we're not standing in the hallways and standing throughout the whole meeting or sitting on floors.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, Councilman.
Ms. Herndon, I appreciate what you said. That was discussed during our last council meeting, which made a lot of sense. And you are a nurse, so you are the expertise, subject expert in this particular case. And one thing I would like to add to that, even if we could find a bigger space, think about having a rotating, not every month, I'm not saying every month, but once a quarter, having our council meetings in each district. Instead of having citizens come downtown, we can go to them and take our council meetings to that particular district, if we have a place to hold that particular council meeting.
And yeah, Councilman Wilson, I like that idea. I think we run into some possible problems around liabilities and things of that nature. But I'm willing to explore any option, as well as, and I know I spoke with Mayor Stewart about the possibility of expanding the digital platform. There are various options out there, and I know that's something that is on his mind, so that people can proactively participate through a remote method. Okay. Any other comments for non-agenda items?
Could I have the comment?
Oh, yes, sir. I'm sorry. I apologize, Councilman Fox.
I wanted to say, Mr. Graham, I appreciated your questions. Your questions about the cost and about money, me being a businessman, those are wise, and I'm just learning how we as councilmen can understand what costs are, and I definitely think that we need to develop some way to answer the citizens' questions about costs or publish it out there. They may already be out there, but we need to find out what those ways of communicating those costs more effectively to you. That's something that I'd love for us on the council to sit down and talk about, to find out more ways in transparency that we can let you guys know what costs are. And I'm sure the mayor may already know about those things, but it would be good to learn about it. Mr. Bishop, I appreciate your passion, and I appreciate that you want things to be right. I think that all of us, we need to try to be kind. We need to try not to be allegations of things. If we feel like something's untrue, I think there's ways of saying it without coming out direct, and then there's also ways of responding, even if somebody does say something that's not maybe appropriate. So forgive me for putting on my sign and preach out there, but guys, we all live in this world together, and if we all work together, we'll all be able to further things more. We're not always going to get everything we want, but if we strive more to give than we try to work it and manipulate it to get our way, things generally work out better. Thanks for that, sir.
Councilman Wilson?
Just real quick, and I'm glad Councilman Box mentioned that. No, we do not always get everything that we want, and that's something that I've learned since I've been here on the council, because, I mean, there are some things that we voted on tonight that I didn't want, so I really feel it's a give and take, but at the same time, I think what you said, Councilman Spivey, we need to show a little bit more unity. Even if we disagree, we can agree to disagree. And if we keep doing that, I think it will, we'll be just fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other final comments?
Connie Webb, I have two things. I relied on that video because I was standing in the hall and with the mask, and then Cindy didn't talk into her microphone, a couple times Bobby Joe, John, I couldn't hear what y'all were saying. So I have to go back and watch that. So, and then you talk about moving to another facility, that's even gonna make it worse. You've got to be able to hear what y'all are saying. Simple as that.
We won't jump to any conclusions around location reassignment, but I do believe that as we move into an additional platform to communicate our message better, I'm sure that infrastructure will probably be one of those items. Any final comments for non-council agenda items? I make a motion that we end and adjourn this meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
I know we can't put it in the middle.
Oh, I did. I am well, I do. How do you feel? I do.
Good, good.
Do you have some every
No, just physical therapy right now. And it's doing better.
Are you really? Your skin is looking just fine to me.
That's all right. I know it's going to get eventually, so I'm just gotta, you just gotta, when it comes, I told the Lord, let me lead with grace. I want to be graceful for you. Like, look, this pain, it seems like it's great. But that's right. Good to see you. You look so good.
Oh, thank you.
But when it's all over, we're going to be just all over each other.
I know.
How you doing? I'm so glad to hear about y'all going to have a neighborhood association. Yeah, I've been trying to get them together. And I wish they would not say Florence. I wish you would call it Scottsville. But it is. Because I've been trying to do some research on the history of Scottsville. That's right. I'm trying to get it right. My great-grandmother lived. This was back in 1930 or 40. I'm gonna tell you where she lived. I hope it was one of Scottsville. You know where, across the track, like almost right up, you can see the train from where it is. It's like First Avenue. Yeah, across the track. But anyway, she lived close. They say that there was a house in the middle of it. That when they got because I know, you know, Mary Lou. She goes to okay, well, Mary Lou is a little across from the tree. We're real because I know Cornell was there 61 years. Because I used to go to the church. This son went to my church that I am now. I'm in a church that I started. And all that ministry, and I'm thinking there's something behind it that I see.
We're researching that now.
Yeah, because I'm thinking it's probably tied to the ministry and I'm thinking his name is because his last name is Scott. His wife's name is Dawn. So I do a lot of that's how I go back. I go back to that. So I found them in that area way back. She can get those words. Those were true words, those were not estimated words. You gotta expect that. Anytime you get something big coming up, brace yourself. It's gonna come, and you know, even people may think they're doing but they're just being used. So you just have to be prepared for it. And as a matter of fact, that's a confirmation you can That's not what it tells me. I'm gonna give you my number. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give you my number.
But the 9th is
That's your